Okay, so this is my temporary house that's not finished, but it'll at least give you an example. I don't have a roof on this. You don't have to have a roof on yours. If I were you, I would do the front part of the roof and maybe even two sides, so that way as you start the video it looks like the house is complete, but then as you zoom out you can like get a sky view of the entire thing without having to go through a roof. Otherwise you're not going to be able to see it at all. So first thing we're going to do is make this into a video. So you should have this menu bar on the side. The thing that looks like a video clapper is what we're going to hit to expand it. I'm going to add scene. The first scene that you're going to want to have is zoomed out of the entire thing. That kind of gets people oriented with what they're looking at. I'm going to click add scene, and it's going to create the first scene that's zoomed out. And then I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. The more I have in between the scenes, the choppier it's going to be. And it doesn't let me add scene now. Instead I click the plus button to add a new one, and then it gets a little bit tricky. I'm going to try to end up so it appears as though I'm walking through this, and it's kind of tricky. So you're gonna have to play with it a little bit, but I'm going to just continue to move through my house. It takes a little while for it to create the scene. I'm gonna try to avoid things like walking through walls, and since it is a tiny house, it's gonna be pretty difficult to do. But I'm just gonna make a few scenes to give you an idea. This tool lets you shift the whole building. This lets me shift my perspective a bit. And it takes just a little bit of back and forth so I don't go through a wall. And as you do it, of course, don't forget to hit the plus button so you went through a wall, so you don't lose your spot. Hit the plus button. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make the entire tour, so every scene that I see in my tour should be on this video. So if I want to look at every wall in here, I have to do that now. But again, it's going to be a little bit frustrating because it's such a tiny house. For mine, I have a lot of walls in it also. Okay, I'm just going to add one more scene because you don't need to see me doing this to know how. So I'm going to hit plus one more time, and I have my scene. So then I'm going to go back up to the top first scene. I'm going to put this in and away, and then I have the plus or the play button up here in the top left. So if I hit play, it'll take me through my tour. So go ahead and preview it, hit play. If it's the way that you want it, it doesn't have an export button on this. It does on the Pro version. This kind of stinks that Sketchup Schools doesn't have an export button. What we can do instead is, the way that I'm recording this video on my screen right now is through QuickTime. You should have that in apps. So if you go into Finder in apps, or you can hit Command Space and it'll give you the Spotlight search. If you start typing in the word QuickTime, it should finish. And I'm going to hit QuickTime Player. I don't think it's going to let me do this because I'm already recording. But I would go up to File and New Screen Recording, and it'll either allow you to just take a screenshot like Shift Command 4, or else it'll let you make a video. So you'll just need to check through your settings. I can't show you since I'm recording now, but you'll need to check through your settings and maybe just do a practice run. Right now I know I'm recording and it's working because there's this button right here that's the stop button. That's how I'm going to stop my recording, as I click that. But if you see that, yes, it's recording. You'll also want to check your mic, make sure that that's working if you're going to try to narrate as you go, but we'll remove the audio and narrate later. So you would hit enter to start recording, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this play button, and probably try to get as much of this out of the way as I can, and it should take me through my tour then. And it'll be recording this, and that's what I would bring into iMovie then. But you kind of get a little bit of an idea of the behind the scenes, how it works. If possible, there we go, click this down arrow and that gets rid of it, so you don't have that big huge bulky thing. in the way as you record. There are a couple other details that you can look at as you go. So I'm going to hit the X, so I'm going to get out of this. Going back into the video recording, there are different options that you can set up. The transition time, how long it takes to go from one scene to the next scene, you can mess with that, see what looks appropriate. You don't want it to look jittery. You don't want people to be getting sick while they're watching the video. Delay time is how long it is in between scenes, so how long it pauses on each scene. You can make that as long or as short as you want, whatever you think is appropriate, then click OK for that. When you're done recording then, hit the